Well, good morning. Welcome to New Thought Unity Center on this lovely Sunday morning, this brisk Sunday morning in Cincinnati, Ohio. My name is David Kyser, and I'm music director here at New Thought Unity Center, and we welcome everyone that's live and in person in the congregation and all of you that are on the Facebook Live page. We're glad that our spiritual community can be together with the wizardry, is it wizardry? Somebody say that word correctly for me. Of electronics and the interweb and all of that. And wherever you are, you're looking beautiful.
Got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. And people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station with a workday window blowing, I've got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces I see frustration growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I? You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart.
People gonna treat you better.
You're gonna
Find, yes you will,
that you're
beautiful.
beautiful as you feel. I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness. Maybe not, but we can only try.
You've got to get up every morning,
with a smile on your face and
show the world
all the love in your
in your heart. And people gonna treat you better.
You're gonna
Find, yes you will,
that you're
beautiful.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
As you feel.
Thank you, Alice. And speaking of beautiful, up from Louisville, Kentucky, we want to welcome once again to the platform Reverend Bobby Kyser.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Bobby.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. And so, good morning again. And I'd like to share with you our weekly affirmation. It is, and I'm going to have you repeat it with me afterwards, okay? But I'm going to say it first. I give myself the love and assurance I need to survive. Together. I give myself the love and assurance I need to survive and thrive. And so it's in that sense of beautiful, in that idea of thriving, that we open our hearts and minds right here and right now, here at New Thought Unity Center. We become grounded and centered in this space, holding the light for all those that are not able to be here live with us, holding the light for those here, holding the light for the music, all the people that came this morning to volunteer and share their time, their talents, and their treasure. We feel a sense of gratitude this morning, a sense of love, sense of sharing. And let us hold on to all of those thoughts as we move through this service today, reminding ourselves that we are love in action. We are beautiful, and for this we're so grateful. Amen.
Yes, beautiful. Talk about beautiful. Our prayer chaplains, they are not only here, we have a prayer chaplain here this morning, but just to let you know, two prayer chaplains remotely holding us in prayer as we do our Sunday morning celebration together. And speaking of celebration, you know something? It is the third Sunday in January, and we still have not recognized birthdays and anniversaries. How did that happen? I'm looking out. So if anyone has a birthday or an anniversary in January, would you please stand so we can recognize you? Look at this. What? Okay, and I didn't see you, but I felt through the camera that there are a few people standing at home right now in their pajamas with a little coffee mug. That's great. God is blessing you now. Here we go. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now. All right. Birthday people remain standing, and everybody else stand up with them as well, because we're going to swing wide the doors of our heart this morning with this little, actually it's a Daniel Nahmod tune, but boy, did Eddie Waskin Jr. do it upright. Ooh, yeah. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go now. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. Understand what I'm here for. And what this life is about, what this life is about. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about thunders and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide And with our wide open hearts, it's time that we greet each other with a handshake or hug, respect the mask, and keep yourself safe, but get as close as you want. And we say hi and welcome to everyone that's out on our Facebook Live page. Wherever you are out there, will you tell us where you are, where you're listening from, who you are, and something that you like about our celebration this morning as we greet one another. One, two, three. Woo! I feel a good vibration, healing and transformation all through this congregation. Must be unity, the experience is our mission. Universal wholeness is our vision. I am who I am, it's my decision. Must be unity. NTUC unity.
Please have a seat. And if you would, say with us our mission and vision statements. Our mission statement is, in God, we are an inclusive, abundant community, experiencing love, transforming lives, and serving others. And our vision statement is, we celebrate a world of harmony and oneness, a place of loving stewardship, sacred connections, and pure joy, where all are welcomed with honor and respect. And what we want you to know about New Thought Unity Center is that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Wherever you've been, wherever you're going, whatever path you're on, we're grateful that you're with us this morning. If this is your first time here, we have in the back corner a newcomers table, and on that table are some packets with information about the center and a gift for you that we would love for you to have. And if you have any questions, someone from the board, Kim, will be back there, and she can answer any questions that you have about the center. Again, thank you for being with us this morning.
Right, and we're alive and thriving. I think Bobby's going to talk about that this morning. How do we not survive but thrive? And we do thrive here at the center, and there are a lot of things going on, and we want to highlight a few of the events. For all the information, see the website, the email blast, or the Facebook event page. If you're not on the email blast, then just call the center and we can put you on. Help wanted. New Thought Unity Center is looking for someone to fill the part-time position of administrative coordinator. Now, and the person will assist the main office and has to have those office skills. So, and 5 years or more experience in office setting is desirable, but if you think you have the skills, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint Publisher, website management, then there, as I understand it, the board is interviewing people now. But if there's someone that you say, oh, that person would be perfect for this position, please send a resume with references to the Board of Trustees at secretary@ntunity.org. Susan Bartels retired. What? That's why we're looking for someone else to fill this position. No one will ever fill a position like Susan filled it. But she's on to new projects, and please join us in Friendship Hall afterwards. Yes, Susan is with us today. Hi, Susan. And and we're going to say, just thank her for all the service, wish her well, She's not going anywhere. She's going to be back and help and around, but we want to recognize everything. So I hear there's a cake down there as well, so join us. Racial Day of Healing, January 18th, 2022, from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m., this virtual event. It's a virtual event, and you can get more information at racialhealingcincinnati.com. Just wanted to point that out. Pledge cards for those of you who were not able to attend last week's meeting. We have initiated a pledge program to raise funds to support hiring Kim Ballou as our part-time spiritual leader. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that later on, but pledge cards are available in the back of the sanctuary. Lessons in Truth, Susanna is marching this out. It is a book study of the book Lessons in Truth by Emily Cady. This book is considered one of the core texts in the Unity teachings. Suggested love offering of $40. Pre-registration is open. When do we start? January the 12th. We started last week. Can they still join? We can still join. That's why this announcement is on here. So Susanna is here. If you're in the sanctuary, talk to her about it and see what you have to do to catch up. All right? She's a wonderful teacher, and look for other information on the email blast or the event page. Karaoke, Friday, February 4th at 7 p.m., Friendship Hall. DJ Kim Ballou lets you be a star. So bring your drinks and snacks. Don't forget to put a little in the tip jar, which rhymes with star, for DJ Kim. Mastermind Consciousness, facilitated by Alice Frazier, meets on the first Wednesday of each month, which means February the 2nd, Groundhog Day. They will meet again via Zoom. Crossport meets the second and the fourth Mondays at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Contact Lauren Watson or the center for more information. Angel's Wings Retail Shop. What? All shoes and boots, 50% off through the month of January. You need some boots. Go right next door. Open Fridays 10 to 2, Saturdays 10 to 4, and Sundays noon to 3. And that's our announcements for today. A lot going on. Now's the time where we settle in and start to prepare ourselves for meditation.
Wherever I am right now, in this moment, I feel peace. I feel peace. Wherever I am right now, in this moment, I feel peace. I feel peace. And this peace washes on me like a healing rain, bringing life and a welcome renewal. Wherever I am right now, in this moment, I feel peace. I feel peace. Wherever I am right now, in this moment, I am joy. I am joy. Wherever I am right now, in this moment, I am joy. I am joy. And this joy flows like
this moment. I choose love. I choose love. And by choosing love, the candle of my soul burns bright, guiding my dreams to the dawn. Wherever I am right now, in this moment, I choose love. I choose love.
Oh, it's in that spirit that we choose love. We choose love. I invite you all to take a deep breath with me. Exhaling. And again. Reminding ourselves that we all breathe the same air. We all share the same air. I invite you to go to your heart center and just put all of your attention there for just a moment. Just being with your heart. Being with your heart. As we celebrate freedom. Feeling that freedom in our heart. Freedom. Feeling equality in our heart. You might see the flags that are hanging in this church, reminding us of the equality that we honor. Feel that equality in your heart. Feel justice in your heart. That great feeling of justice. This church represents justice. And so we honor that. We honor our hearts for love. We feel love right now. We feel the reminder that we are loved. Let that feeling settle in your heart. To feel loved. To be loved. To love. Tomorrow we honor all of these things. Justice, peace, equality, and love. And we feel in our hearts all the work that's been done, and it is good. It feels right. It feels fair. And so we have a deep amount of gratitude in our hearts. And so we take that gratitude into the silence and honor, justice, and love. And so as we return our hearts and our minds back to the room, we remind ourselves to go forth throughout this week, throughout this year, throughout our lifetimes, feeling immense gratitude for the freedom and equality, for the justice and love that we're able to experience in our lives and right here at Unity, at the church, through our movement. And we honor that. We honor that, and we remind ourselves of that. And for this we are grateful. Amen.
Wherever I am right now, I am worthy to receive, to receive. Wherever I am right now, I am worthy to receive, to receive. And I now claim my worth in this world today, embracing my prosperity. Wherever I am right now, I am worthy to receive, to receive. Peace, Lord, Lord, I receive in this moment now, in this moment now.
Amen.
If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. Not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, for light is the darkness most fear.
My hands are all I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. Not yours, they are my own.
I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes. It did not steal your laughter. Heartache came to visit me, but I knew it wasn't ever after. We'll fight, not out of spite, 'cause someone will stand up for what's right. 'Cause where there's a man who has no voice, there art shall go singing.
My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and
Love that song. You're very blessed to have this music team. I hope you know that. Of the churches that I go and speak to, yeah. So beautiful and just such a great, it's always a nice mix. I got tickled when he sent me the music and the one he's going to do after my talk. Yeah, it's so me. He's channeling me somehow. And we know we're cousins some way down the road because we're both Kysers. Even if it's spelled differently, we know somewhere we're connected, right? So I owe you an apology. Yes, the last time I was here when I did the talk about peace and the missing piece in our puzzle, I omitted number 7 of my 8 ways for you. And as everyone was leaving, they're like, what was number 7? What was number 7? What was number 7? And Lord, I couldn't remember what it was. I said, that's pretty bad. You know, I think there was 8 or 9 of them. And of course I talked about them, but then trying to remember 7 from 6 and 5. And I was like, oh, forget it. I'll just let them know this time. So it was the affirmation. It's saying affirmations to remind us. And if you remember, we actually talked about the affirmation, which was, I choose peace, right? I choose peace. So next time I do that, somebody raise their hand and say, hey, wait, you went from 6 to 8. So it was funny on the way here. I felt like I was thriving more than usual. I have a very dear friend who's into holistic medicine. She's a doctor, and she said, I'm going to give you some vitamins during all this craziness going on, and I'm going to really give you some stuff. So she gives me a whole list. I order it all. It's, $500 worth of stuff, right? Because she wants me to really be jacked up, I think. And so I get about halfway here, and this morning there's this one called mitochondrial something. I don't even really know what it was, but she told me, she said, now this one will make you feel really good. Well, I took 2 of them. And on the way here, I felt like I was coming out of my skin, and I thought, oh, Lord, this is crazy. So I pulled over and got a water, and I drank the whole entire water and used the bathroom and thought, I'm going to wash this out. Stopped again another time on the way here, and so finally, I'm starting after that meditation, starting to feel back to normal again. But I'm going to tell you, for it to be natural supplements, Dr. Thomas, you did good, dog. I was thriving on the way here. Trust me. Woo. Oh, gosh. Speaking of thriving, I was on Facebook this week and found this lovely little, some of you all might have even seen it. If you did, then great, you're going to hear it again. But it's this lady, Miss Jones, and you can't see the picture, I know, but I'm going to describe her to you. She's this very beautiful, well-versed 83-year-old lady, and gets up every morning fully dressed and 8 a.m. sharp, she's ready to go. She's got her makeup applied and her hair all done up, but her husband died, so she's got to move into a retirement home. And so, that's really what motivated the move, nothing else other than she was on a walker and so on and so forth. But after many hours of waiting patiently in the hall of the new home where she was going to go, and it was a single room, and they said, your room is ready. So as she moved her walker toward the elevator, and she was told about the curtains and told all about everything, and she said, I love it. And the attendant looked at her and said, well, how do you know you love it? You have not seen it. She said, that doesn't matter. I love it. You see, happiness is not something you decide over time. Whether or not I like the room doesn't depend on how the furniture arranged. It depends on how I arrange my mind. She said, I already decided that I like it. It's a decision I make every morning when I wake up. I have the choice. I can spend the day going, focusing on what doesn't work on my body and how aches and pains that I have. Or I can bless what does work and what does allow me to get up out of bed. Every day is a gift, she said, as long as I open my eyes. I will focus on the new day and the happy memories I've stored just for this time in my life. Happiness, she said, is like a bank account. You withdraw from it what you deposit. So I ask you today, how are you arranging your mind in the morning? what memories, what days, what things are being deposited into your memory account. This morning, I want to offer you some ways, some ideas, some thoughts, some building blocks on how to thrive in life, not just survive in life. When things are like they are right now with COVID and all the madness going on, it's so easy to get caught up in fear, isn't it? And so how is it that we can thrive through a period like we're dealing with now of challenging times? You know, as humans, we have a long history of fearfulness. You know, you think back all the way to the cavemen, you know, when they were being chased by animals and they were fighting each other, right? So we literally have kind of a survival mentality. We have been genetically imprinted to be fearful. So because of that, we have to really work and be intentional. We have to use our unity tools, right? Our third principle, that we create our experiences, or that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Isn't that what we talk about? Yeah. So we've got the tools at Unity. That's the secret, right? The little secret church. We've got the tools. As I was doing my research on this, I did this talk at Unity of Kansas City North, a little differently, but I did do basically the same talk. I decided to do a little research, as I always do before, and my talk was already Surviving to Thriving. But I went online and found the most amazing workbook. And I just love it when I find something that is just chock full of greatness. And this guy, if he's not Unity, he's definitely New Thought, the gentleman that wrote it. His name is, I'll have you put, Bruce W. Smith. I'm going to have you put it up there. I want to give him as much credit as possible. And basically, it's called Move from Surviving to Thriving, the Positive Psychology Workbook for Challenging Times. And this gentleman is a professor and doctor, of course, at New Mexico University. And he and his students, about 2 or 3 months into 2021, said, my God, what can we do from a positive psychology perspective to help shift the consciousness of people during COVID? You know, what was supposed to be 2 or 3 months is now a year. It's likely going to move forward, and it has. So what is it that we can do? So they started creating this workbook. And this workbook is something that I believe all of us can use. As a matter of fact, so much that I'm doing a workshop on this, that we're going to go through the workbook together. I haven't been through all of it. I went through enough to do a talk on the first unit. But there is so much in there. And so I'll give you more information about that at the end of how, if you want to join in on that, it's going to be once a month for an hour for 12 months. But we're going to work together over the next 12 months to thrive through this madness rather than just survive, because we know that our minds, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Dr. Smith has 4 parts to this book. If you don't mind, I'm going to have you. Oh, you've already got them up there for me. Thank you. They start out with basic training for your best life, and this is basically a bunch of tools. And some of these tools, again, you're going to hear there's Unity here. Either there he's channeling Charles Fillmore or something. But mindfulness, resilience, wisdom, and creativity, as he says, is what you've got to have, which is very similar to our understanding, wisdom, imagination, and willpower, right? Our 12 powers. So he begins with that, saying this is what you've got to have for your basic training to get started with, Unity tools to get started with. And then part 2 is going to be bringing out your best. And at this point, we're going to identify the strengths. See, we're going to find out, what is it that I'm really strong and good at that I enjoy, right? And then number 3, part 3 will be bringing out the best around you. And this is where you're going to be improving the relationships. There's a song that I heard this morning, I can't remember, but it reminded me that we're not just here to take care of ourselves, but then the next step is to go out and help other people thrive, right? So once we get ourselves in that place, then we're grounded in that and we can help other people. And then part 4 is creating the best possible future. And what we're going to do there, and what he does in this workbook, is start creating a plan at this point, so that beyond the workbook, where is my thriving going to show up in my life and those around me? But today I want to talk about specifically, because I love these building blocks. And so if you'll just put those up on there for me. And yes, I know they're big words. A drag queen friend of mine would say, "Sweetie, put on your big knee-high boots. We're going deep." She would, because she had very tall boots. And she tended to go deep. And I love that about her. But this is really not that deep. It's very simple. It's actually things we use every day. And so it's all part of positive psychology, which truly is the scientific nature of unity. That's where we are. We know the laws of mind action, and we know that's truly how we're creating and manifesting the world of where we are right now, truthfully. You know, we can read all this stuff, but we've got to take action to be able to do that. So this first one is called positive reappraisal. And it's our ability to change our mind and see things anew in a more beneficial way. Do you think there's something in your life you might be able to do that with? Maybe there's something there that's just itching you to death and you want to change it, right? You might want to have to get rid of it. Hopefully not. The idea is, with positive reappraisal, is to rethink that and re-see that. When I moved back from Unity Village back to Louisville, I had owned rental property before I left, and my mom was so gracious to take care of it for me while I was gone. And when I came back, I said, I'm going to take back over my property, obviously, from my mom, and there's some things I just don't like to do. And I have to be honest, I was starting to dread it. I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to, you got a tenant calling you in the morning and their toilet is stopped up, and it's at 5:30 on Sunday morning, right? Okay, my toilet. And I don't want to be a poop plunger. I just don't. I poop plunged for years, but I don't want to do that anymore. So I thought, how is it that I can think differently about my property? Well, there are people that get paid to poop plunge, right? I don't know if they like it, but I know they get paid to do it. And so I took that off my plate. I found someone that's willing to do that for me. And now, when I get a call on the phone, I don't immediately go, oh. Instead, what I found out is the things that I like to do. When a gentleman and his wife locked the key out of their house, an elderly couple, how honored I was to say, I will be at your house in 15 minutes. You're not going to stand in the cold long. See, I found out, I was able to positively appraise, what is it in my life that I want to do? And if it doesn't feel right to me or resonate with me, then what is it I need to get rid of? And that doesn't always mean it goes away. It might mean you reassign that, right, to somebody else, so that I can go back and serve and go and show up for those people that need their house unlocked, with love and grace and a help and serve mentality. Positive reappraisal. The second building block he says that we need to move into thriving is behavioral activation. Another big word. But truthfully, it's what we've been talking about in job-related situations for the last probably 15 or 20 years, and that's to follow your bliss. What does it mean to follow your bliss? Well, it probably means not following things that don't feel good to you, right? So you're going to release those, let those go, do a little surrendering of all that, and find and start becoming present. Because you have to be present to be able to find your bliss. If you're letting every day pass you by and you're just going from one thing, but not slowing down to find out, what is it that feels good to my heart? What is it that's resonating with me? Again, when I came back, I'd done a lot of work at Unity Village, so I was able to be present for the first time in my life, probably around my family and my friends here in Kentucky, or in Kentucky. And so I thought when I came back, I was going to be this big, fabulous real estate agent. Matter of fact, I even went out and bought a Cadillac. I thought, I'm going to get me a Cadillac, and I'm going to drive people around. I'm going to sell millions of dollars worth of houses, and I'm going to do this whole thing. And I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, I took my license test because they didn't have, because of COVID, you couldn't take it. I drove to Cincinnati twice. One time, 8 hours from Kansas City, just to take my license right here in Cincinnati because they were doing them. But I'm telling you, nothing felt right about that. Everything I went to do felt wrong. I was getting my training, and I felt just like, whoa. I felt like I wasn't being called for that. More things started happening with my property. You know, I used ways to make myself love my management instead of selling it, focusing on what I owned and what I had. And so next thing you know, I'm starting to fall into this mode. A lady calls me and said, will you manage my properties? I live in New York. Will you manage my 7 properties? So next thing you know, I'm starting to build a management because I was open and receptive. I was present. I started noticing the real estate thing wasn't mine to do. Now, the interesting thing about this, and this is the way the universe and divine spirit works to support us, is in Kentucky now, effective 2 years ago, if you don't have a real estate license, you can't manage property for other people. Isn't that interesting, right? So see, I wasn't doing it for that. I didn't need a Cadillac. By the way, I drive a 2003 Ford truck now. And it's probably got a plunger in the back. It doesn't, because I tell you, I don't poop plunger. It doesn't. It doesn't have a plunger. Might have some other tools and stuff in it, but yeah. Behavioral activation. Following your bliss, becoming present to what's going on in your life. You see, to thrive, you can't hate what you do every day. You can't. You're surviving. That's what you're doing. So open up to activating yourself to what feels good. Follow your bliss. And then the third building block he tells us about is exposure therapies. Just the name is kind of weird, right? Exposed. I don't want to be exposed, right? Yeah, I mean, it's scary. I can feel the fear coming out when I expose myself. But you see, what happens is, for us to thrive, the fear has to start dissipating. Because see, if you're filled with fear every day, all day, every day, I promise you, you are not going to thrive. You are not going to thrive. Exposure therapies enables us to overcome and face things that we fear the most. What do? You start doing the things you fear the most. That's why I said it doesn't feel good. You always hear about people who are speakers and they're scared of public speaking, and then they have to get up the very first time to speak in front of somebody. So you ideally do it in front of 2 or 3 people, right? And then you do it 10 people, and then 15, and then you get up and speak to a group. And all of a sudden, you've exposed yourself with therapy of, right, exposure. I've always loved music, and so I play the piano a little bit. I mean, nothing like you, but I do play a little bit, and I enjoy it. I love to sing a little bit. And so I used to do weddings. You know, the one thing I could do well is, and I'm actually trained more on the organ than I'm the piano, and so I would do weddings. And so I was doing a wedding for a friend of mine, and I was at the organ, I was playing, and if the church was a little hot, so they had a fan going for me, and I was just, everything was going great. They got about halfway down the aisle, and the music came down onto the organ and went, and of course the whole church looked at me. They stopped in the middle of the aisle, and I picked my stuff back up and kept playing, and somehow, I don't even remember what I played, but I got through and got them to the altar. And the next time I went to do a wedding, I could feel that music fall down again, right? My fear came up. I almost could not play to get through that wedding. And I realized that I had built up a fear now. I had a little bit of, whatever from that. I'm not going to call it PTSD because that's a much more serious thing, but it's a mini version of that, we'll call it. And it's taken me. I'm still to this day struggling with that. I still get up and do it. I'm fighting through it, right? I expose myself to it. They got annulled, by the way, about 2 months later. So I don't think it was the wind, actually, that blew that music over. It was something else, I think. Because someone right out there. Exposure therapies. What can we subject ourselves to fear-wise to be able to allow us to start thriving more in life and letting go of all that fear? I shared with you all last time a lot about my life and what had happened the last year and how I came back. And my parents had been going through some elder abuse, and my nephew had gone through some challenges, and there was just a lot of things going on in my life, and it was so challenging. I mean, it was built up with everything that says you should just survive through this year. That if you can just survive through it, you're going to be okay, right? Just survive through it. And I didn't. I thrived through it. I really did. I mean, if I hadn't been at Unity Village probably for 5 years, I may not have had the same mentality. But you're prayed up hard, okay? I mean, you've had thousands of days of great counseling and training and spiritual direction. And see, we have those same tools available to us, don't we? Right here, every day, Unity offers. There's not a place you can go that's not Unity that you won't find an opportunity to share, learn, grow. Yeah, that's Unity. So there's a gentleman who I really adore. His name's Sean Acord. Does anybody know Sean? Sean he wrote The Happiness Advantage. It's a book, but it's all about being happy and things. He's done a bunch of TED Talks. It's got over 1 million followers and, whatever. And I just found out, interestingly enough, my license is with Keller Williams, and I just found out he is the speaker for our main convention in Orlando in February, which I thought was kind of interesting that I was going to talk about him today. But he offers 5 daily habits, because I'm never going to come here and talk to you that I don't leave you with some tips to take back with you, okay? Because if you come and sit through this and say, oh, he was sweet, he made me feel good, blah, 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 you're here to grow, to shift, right? And so here's 5 tips. Until you get to my workshop, here are 5 tips that I want to share with you that I thought Sean did an amazing job sharing at this. And number 1 is just to express gratitude. Express gratitude. Just wake up every morning and, just like Miss Jones did, be grateful that your parts work. Not all of them. It's okay. You got some. If you can stand up out of that bed, if you breathe, you've got something to be grateful for. And then once you share that gratitude with yourself, then share it with others, right? And this next one, I'm going to do a talk. If I'm so lucky that you invite me back again, I'm going to do a talk on the Word and the power of the Word. And I don't just mean, we think of the Bible as the Word. And it is in one noun. But I'm talking about the words we use. If I could tell you one thing that I've talked about today that I struggle with the most, this is it. This is it. On the way up here, there was someone in front of me, and I was not speaking the proper words. It wasn't curse words, but I was like, wah, 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 wah. You see? We've built a world around us where it's so easy just to speak filth or nasty or yucky, negative. And so I'm going to do a talk on that one. So remind ourselves to speak highly of others. Surround yourself with inspiration. That's why you're here today. You're here because you want to be surrounded by people who elevate you, who raise you up. You want to have a speaker who's going to talk about things you can do to elevate yourself, raise yourself up, and share that with others. And then eat well. Just be careful of the vitamins, okay? Mitochondrial, whatever that is, trust me. You want to do that at home on your own. Eat well. And this is an important thing because what we put in, we can, just like the mental arrangement of her mind she was speaking of, we do the same thing with our bodies and eating well. And then this one is probably the hardest one to do, but the easiest once you get used to it. It's just being honest. I remember Martha Creek told me a story. Forgive me, Martha, I'm talking about you now. You knew it happened eventually. And she was talking about someone came up to her, and her New Year's resolution, and this was a few years back, was that I am going to only speak truth. And this woman came up to her and said, "Oh, Martha, I missed you so much. Did you miss me?" Martha said, I thought, oh, I just made this thing to myself. What am I going to do? And she said, I just thought, you know what? I've got to follow through with this. She's rightfully honest. I've never seen anybody like her. She tells me stuff I do not want to hear. And she said, I just said to her, actually, I didn't miss you, but I sure do love you. Right? See, she's got a way of doing that, and that's what we have to do in life. And not lead people down roads to let them think that we've thought about them all week. Because that's not how it is. So we speak honesty. Little things can lead us to bad spots. You know, if there were ever a time in our history for us to use all of these things that I talked about today, it is now. It is now. There's so much going on around us, so much madness with the corona. There's so many things that are trying to drag us down to a survival consciousness. And that's not who we are at Unity. We are thrivers. We are people who stand in our truth. We have the tools that have been given to us to elevate us up to the level that we need to be elevated up to help and serve others. You see, that's the real joy, to help and serve others. I invite you today to leave this church, and when you do, take a few nuggets with you. These aren't my nuggets. These are nuggets from other people that I'm sharing. But I want you to take them forward out into the world and share your light, your unity with them, and know that you are the light of the world. You are. Each and every one of you. And you're empowered, you're prepared. And if you have fear of this, go back and see number 2. Number 3. See, I'm about to screw my numbers up again. Get over the fear and get out and make a difference in the world, guys. You've got the power to do it. So, my workshop, I'm going to do a 1-minute blunder, a little sales pitch to you. Again, it's going to be on the first Thursday. I'm going to ask whomever sends out emails, whatever, after this service, to just share my website. I'm going to tell you, the website is literally one page, and it's the workshop, okay? Martha just told me I had to have a website 3 weeks ago. You need a website. I said, okay, I'm going to do a website, Martha. So I've got a website, but we decided just for now, rather than throw a bunch of bad stuff up there, we're just going to put that on there. But I'm going to have them send you my website address, and then you're going to go in, and then you're going to just click on Zoom. It's got a Zoom talk. And like I said, we're going to meet the first Thursday of every month. First one is February 3rd. And we're going to explore this. Like I said, I haven't done this. I'm going to explore with you. And we're going to start thriving at an even better nature moving forward into 2022 and 23 and forever, because that's who we are at Unity. Thank you for having me back again today. Amen.
Thank you, Bobby. This is a song about Charles Fillmore. Charles Fillmore at age 93, still as chipper as he could be, took a pen and with a grin wrote this affirmation. So whenever my enthusiasm starts to fizzle, I think of the words, I fairly sizzle, and suddenly my energy soars with transformation. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me, like Charles at age 93. The vim and vigor and vitality of youth are mine at any age. I am ageless, timeless, eternal spirit with an ever-growing faith. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me, like Charles at age 93. When the separation seems so vast and wide and impossible to heal, I fill the chasm with enthusiasm and fairly sizzle with zeal. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me, like Charles at age 93. We love you, Chuck, like Charles at age 93. Takes more than luck, like Charles at age 93.
Yeah!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the kick line. Always an enthusiastic way to thrive. We thank everyone for being here today, and now is the time where we offer our gifts, our tithing, and our offering. And I think I'm right in that. And we've got a few things to do. Actually, we have one announcement right before that, and Rolene is here and is going to, from the Board of Trustees, and is going to talk to us.
We are excited, grateful, and joyful that Kim Ballou has answered the call to serve as our part-time spiritual leader.
Woohoo!
This is the first requisite for Kim in order to be considered for the Unity Field Ministry program. So, in order to support this position, we've developed a Build from the Heart fundraising campaign, and we have the pledges in the back and then ways that you can do it if you care to do it like that. We're asking individuals to make a pledge. Now, this pledge will be in addition to your regular giving program. Pledges can be made through whatever means you currently use, and you just need to make sure that you designate the amount intended for this fund. You do not have to be a member of NTUC in order to contribute to this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. If you think that pledging extra money may be difficult at this time, I ask that you consider this. Dinner for two out at a restaurant is easily $40 to $50. A trip to the movie theater with snacks is about $20 now, and even your cup of latte at Starbucks can be as much as $5. One or less of these activities or expenditures a week or even a month could make a sizable pledge after 1 year. Just as it is necessary to feed your body to maintain a healthy heart, it is important to feed your spiritual needs. Keeping the strong heartbeat of NTUC is vital. Let every good we possess as responsible stewards be multiplied as divine love acts upon our faith. Please consider making a pledge as we take the next step toward the future and the growth of this wonderful community. Thank you.
Thank you, Rolene. Now is the time where we take our offerings and our tithes in our hands and bless them with our offertory blessing and affirmation. And so, and we usually have that up on the screen. There it is. And so we know together, divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive.
And there are chaplains available if you would like to pray after the service. Susanna will be up at the prayer flag, and if you have a celebration or a need that you would like to pray about, please see her after the service.
We have greetings from the people that are on the Facebook Live. Lauren Watson says, good morning from Alexandria, Kentucky, holding sacred space in affirmative prayer. Mary Casaba has a birthday this month. Happy birthday, Mary. Marilyn Berman, good morning from Mainville. James McLean, blessings and love from Kennedy Heights. Brenda Zuckmeister, good morning from Price Hill. Sandra Hatch, remembering MLK in Loveland. Tom Hale, feeling worthy to receive in Hamilton. Some of our friends and our spiritual family. All right, our tithes and offerings here, and Reverend Kyser, would you give us a blessing, please?
Absolutely. And so we open our hearts and minds to all those who have shared their consciousness of prosperity right here today, whether it's in form of their time, talents, or treasure. We know that each and every person has given from a space of love, a space of sharing and caring and giving. And so for this, we say, thank you, God. Amen.
Amen. All right. And yes, we do want to recognize it is Martin Luther King weekend, and tomorrow we honor all of the advances for humankind that is done. And letting you know that J.J. Giudice is going to be here next week, and she's going to have a whole lot to say about that, along with the wonderful music and everything that she does. So want to thank everyone that made this meeting possible. Remember, we're going to go downstairs afterwards and honor Susan and say hello to her and just say, what are you doing? What you going to do now, right? But back in the booth, we have Skylar and Linda making a scene and her. Brendan's got the magic iPad right over there doing all the microphones. What about the singers and the band, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, and Reverend Kyser one more time. We're going to have him back. He's going to talk about the Word next time. Right, and let's see. I do not see superhero-ness today. Is that not happening? Oh, maybe it is. What? Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, give me a drum roll. Let's drum roll all the way up the aisle. If you don't know, from time to time we recognize people that go out of their way to make New Thought Unity a wonderful place. In recognition of your service to New Thought Unity Center's Superstar, this certificate is awarded to Michael Thorpe. If you don't know, Michael is around here several days a week doing all kinds of things for the center and helps our wonderful violinist Peg set up and tear down every day. He is the roadie for the violin player. It's so nice. Wait a minute, certificate. Michael's a superstar. Thanks for everyone for sticking around. We had a lot to do today, and it's such a wonderful celebration when every one of you are here. Now's the time where we stand, find a hand to hold, and to know our prayer for protection and sing our peace song. And so we know together, the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Very good. I fairly said so with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. Like Charles at age 93. We love you, Chuck. Like Charles at age 93. Takes more than luck. Like Charles